Yes.
सड़क ढूंढनी है हाईवे
Thanks.
ये ना रे हाँ, आप ऐसा क्यों कर मुझे आई वांट टू सी रोड हाईवे हाईवे ये ना रे हाईवे ये ना रे
Huh. So yeah, relatable. This is how we feel sometimes when we talk to AI, right? And we do understand this urge and this, the way we feel like, sometimes we get irate that we are not getting what we have asked for. Okay. So, what Mentor Park has come up with that we will help you with the basic like how to talk to AI. Okay, so before we jump into the session, I actually want to introduce the Mentor Park also. So the Mentor Park is a platform, and like we are into uh, we are into leadership, mentoring, coaching. That is our expertise. And since by looking at the this modern trade, we understand that AI is something very important skill. Okay, because in the future, AI is going to be. We do think we might have heard this thing that AI is going to take our job. No, AI is not going to take our job. It is people who don't understand how to work with the AI, how to make their work easy and effective. They are going to lose their job. Okay, AI is going to be an helpful tool for all of us. Okay, so we have. Uh, can we go to the next screen, please? So we can skip this because what we were expecting, because while during the session, it was very difficult while people keep talking, right? And we have a very limited time with us. So I would appreciate if you have any queries, you can raise your queries, or you can post your question in the chat session. Okay, and since we all are nervous, especially I am nervous, okay, because of that technical glitch, and I hope that you all can relate to me, right? So I would really appreciate that if you can cheer up me through the reactions. Okay, here you can see the reaction on the screen. Okay, so if you like something, you can give a thumbs up to us. You can appreciate by clapping and all. Okay, and then thanks like that. Exactly like that. Yeah. So now let's start with the session. Okay, why we are here? We are here to learn how to talk to AI. Okay, there is a we have Vipin with us. Okay, Vipin is our Gen AI specialist, and he have already trained more than 2,000 people from Fortune 2000 company. And 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 Nitin is like, because we have a limited time, so Nitin is going to help us with the basic tool Chat GPT and Perplexity, like how we can use these tools to make our life easier. Okay, so over to you, Vipin.
Yeah, thanks, Aina. Uh,
Yes,
Thank you for
I'll
that
put
warm
the
introduction.
spotlight on
And
you. Yeah.
sure, sure. And let me go ahead and share my screen as well. Let me know when you can see the screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Perfect. Thank you. Yep, thanks. Unfortunately, we are 20 minutes late. Again, apologies for that. But I'll try to make up for the lost time during our session. And if it extends for 10 minutes, please bear with us. So yes, so as Zainab mentioned, and as the initial video that you saw, the world of AI appears to be complex, but I'm trying to, educate people around me, corporate and students alike, on how can we demystify what an AI is. For that, we are having upcoming classes also in which we are gonna dive deep into various vertical specific, department specific applications of AI. How can AI be used to improve your day-to-day productivity, vertical, the department wise and so on and so forth. And there are about more than 150 tools that we could bring into the table to actually educate you on. But before all of that, before even using any of those tools, what is highly important is to understand how to effectively talk to these AI systems. Now, I work in corporate. I interact with hundreds of professionals day in and day out. And whenever I ask them, hey, do you use AI? They say, yeah, I use AI. And when I ask them, how do you use AI? I said, I am a chat GPT expert. And more often than not, when I tell them how do you, or when I ask them how do you specifically use them, they'll say they just copy paste the content and say refine, or they'll just upload a document and say, summarize, or they'll copy paste an email and say make it formal. Even though that would work to some extent, that is what most people are doing. And again, I'm not, and if you are in that, most people who are doing it, you're already one step ahead of your colleagues. Many people who I know are not even using that. But if you're already using any of these tools, including ChatGPT, Perplexity, or any of the AI tools, you're already one step ahead of them. But to go further into your career, and again, Zainab touched based on it a little, wherein people are getting fired because of AI. It's not that people are getting fired because of AI. It's because the flip side is the management is unable to justify the cost of 10 people when actually 2 people can do the same job with the help of very cheap AI. So that's what essentially it is. So there is going to be a substantial rise of an AI augmented employee, wherein AI enhances the capability of an employee, wherein any task that used to take an employee 8 hours to do can effectively be done in 2 hours. Well, with AI, it can be done in 5 minutes, but to do it professionally, it can be done in 2 hours. Now, the remaining 6 hours can be utilized for other productive tasks, for maybe upskilling or enhancing your capabilities, or maybe diversifying your job functions to other departments and so on and so forth. So that is, again, those are all future, and those are all AI augmented leaders and employees that you could become. But to go into all of those things, initially what you need is the power to talk to AI systems, and that's why we are here. Now, in order to talk to AI systems, a key concept is prompt engineering. The prompt engineering is the art, the art of how to effectively talk to any systems. Before jumping into the session, can I get in the chat box what are some AI tools that you're currently using in your day-to-day life? Doesn't necessarily have to be on your corporate, but in your day-to-day life as well. What are some AI tools that you're currently using? And I'm not able to see the chat screen, so please put it in. I'll just give you 10 seconds in the interest of time. What are some AI tools that you're currently using in your day-to-day life? If anyone wants to unmute and talk, that's also good. Okay, so I'm guessing the chat screen is bustling with a lot of tools. Unfortunately, I'm not able to see that. So I'm just going to drive past. And as I mentioned, we'll talk about a lot of tools at a later point in time. But right now, let's focus on this, foundations of AI. Now, this in over the next half an hour, 45 minutes, I'm going to talk to you about a couple of major things, but all, centered around what the concept of prompt engineering is. Now, when you ask me to, in a simple terms, how do I define prompt engineering? It is nothing but how would you talk to a 10-year-old kid? That's how I would define a prompt engineering to anyone, essentially speaking. It is not complex. Even if I'm going to explain to you a lot of complex, I'm going to explain to you frameworks, I'm going to explain to you about advanced prompting techniques and all those things. Even though someone is unmuted, can you please mute? Even though, how do I put it? These things can appear very, very complicated. Very generically speaking, think of it like you're talking to a 10-year-old kid. How would you talk to a 10-year-old kid? If you're giving that 10-year-old kid, let's say a report to summarize, are you going to just give the report to a 10-year-old kid and say summarize? Provided it's a intelligent 10-year-old kid and so on and so forth. No, right? So you're going to give it more context, saying, see, basically, I am from this company and my job responsibility is this. Now, the objective of me asking you to summarize is this, and I want the output in so and so tone and so on and so forth. So this is what you are required to tell that 10-year-old kid so that the 10-year-old kid can understand from a 360-degree perspective what your entire objective is. If else, there's a concept called hallucination coming in, which I'm not going to dive deep into. But essentially, what I'm trying to explain is whenever you're talking to any AI systems, interacting with any AI systems, good to know about the framework, but keep it as simple as possible and talk to them from the perspective that make it as elaborate as possible whenever you're asking anything or any AI systems to do something for you. Now, these are the things we are going to talk about. Some of these frameworks, will be available to you. We'll be sharing this tech and content and all those things will be available to you. And then we are going to also look at some of the prompting techniques with which you can further fine tune how the outcome of your responses are going to be. And we are going to also going to look at some of the tools. I'll kind of tell about Gemini and Copilot, but we are also going to look at let's say ChatGPT and Perplexity as well. Now, is prompt engineering needed? So we have been talking for the last 5 minutes on that concept itself. Yes, prompt engineering is needed. To put it in a more structured way, the purpose of prompt engineering is to guide to produce a useful context-rich response. It is not, our objective is not to tell AI to give you some sort of response. No, it should be useful, context-rich response. That is the objective. And the scope applies to hundreds or thousands of tools that are out there. Any tool which has some kind of AI in it, and which has some kind of interface through which you can give it any kind of input, all those tools have, could be, this prompt engineering techniques could be applied to that. And why is prompt engineering required? Not only, as I mentioned, not only is it required for it to, holistically make it understand what the requirement is, but also it helps improve accuracy. Now, I mean, again, lot of concepts, but just short listing maybe one or two concepts. So think of it like this: you're asking, you're asking you're asking ChatGPT to kind of rephrase an email, but you're just telling ChatGPT rephrase formally. Yes, it will of course rephrase formally, but if you add one more line saying rephrase formally, I am a data analyst. So then the rephrasement of the email will be in the perspective that, okay, I'm a data analyst. So the rephrasement of the email will be from a data analyst perspective. Rephrase, formally, that I'm a CEO of the company. Then what happens is from a CEO's verbiage, it's going to be there, or from a finance perspective. So the entire verbiage of the content, essentially the context of the content remains the same as it is from an email perspective, but the verbiage of the content will drastically change. The verbiage of the content will drastically change depending on the role of who you are basically telling AI to be, or who your role is. You're essentially telling that. That is one. Two is reduce hallucinations. Now, for example, you're again uploading a report and you're telling it to summarize. You're not explicitly explaining it. Summarize in what, let's say, format, for example. So it will give you summary in terms of paragraphs, but your objective is summarizing the email, and you want to convert it into, let's say, a presentation, or you want to make it in a tabular format, or you want to make it in an email format that you can send it to your client. So your end objective is not clear to AI. So AI will by default assume, okay, I want to summarize, I'll just give it to them in some kind of paragraphs. But no, if your objective is any of the above, or anything that you want to do with whatever you want to do it, explicitly mention that to AI systems. So we start off with, so I want you to summarize. My role is this, so that the accuracy is improved. In order to reduce hallucinations, I'm saying I want it in so and so format and so tone and so on and so forth. So it's basically like, instead of letting ChatGPT or AI tools think whatever it wants to think and give the output in whatever way it wants, you're kind of restricting, you're putting guardrails. That's the technical terms. You're putting guardrails around your output in such a way that the output is way more accurate and efficient and way more precise to your requirement, as opposed to being completely general. And of course, makes it improve productivity. If you do all these things, your productivity will also be improved. Now, in order to do that, there are I'll say hundreds of frameworks that you can use. And again, I'm just going to explain one or two, but you don't have to restrict yourself to this. But the reason why I chose craft framework is it is one of the most powerful, one of the most all encompassing frameworks that there is, which kind of pretty much applies to a larger case study, a larger sample size. So that's why I use this framework called craft. Now craft, sorry, before craft, any questions till now? And again, uh, can't see the chat box, so any questions, put it in the chat box right now. I will answer it at a once we are at a break. I'll answer it. Any questions, I'll just give you 10 seconds to answer that, or rather put the question in the chat box. Okay. Now let's get into craft framework. Now again, don't think of it as technical. Don't think of it like, oh my god, I have to understand this. The simplest rule is, think of what you would want to provide a 10-year-old kid in order for that 10-year-old kid to actually understand the context more holistically. That's what you do. So for example, you want to, let's take another example of, let's say, building a presentation. So you want to build a presentation on a certain topic. Now if you're telling ChatGPT, or let me do this, let me actually give you an example itself. Let's say, I want to build a presentation. So I want a volunteer to come online now and give me a topic to get the content of a presentation from. So can one of you unmute and talk to me about a topic that you want? Yes, Anuj, please.
Yeah, so in organizations, we generally have to prepare like a presentation for a review, like a QBR, a quarterly business review or something like that.
Understood. For that, I need data that I have to upload and all. So we can again do that in a hands-on at a later point in time. But I'm expecting more something smaller. But again, yours is also good. The only thing that you need to do is just upload that QBR data or whatever data that you can upload. Just upload it and then do the task that I'm gonna basically say. But other than that, can you give me a one line on some generic thing that we can generate the data on, or we can generate the presentation content on?
Maybe something very simple like I have a son who's 10. He has to make a presentation in school on what are the good behaviors.
Presentation on good behaviors. Okay, I have a 10-year-old son. Cool. All right. So hopefully it doesn't make, yeah, cool. This is good. So this is what it's gonna design for a 10-year-old. It's gonna build a presentation and content. Now this is great. Now circling back here. Now let's understand the concept of craft. Craft is nothing but context, role, action, format, and tone. You're predefining these 5 aspects so that your output will be more modulated to what you're exactly looking to do. One is context. Now, context is nothing but the situation that you want or that you are in, so that the AI systems can come in that mind frame. Role is nothing but you have to specify in what role is the AI working from, or essentially in what role are you coming in from. If you're a salesperson, you need the output from a sales perspective. If you are a I don't know, 10-year-old kid, you need the output from a 10-year-old kid's perspective. If you are a production manager, you want the output from a statistical production perspective, and so on and so forth. So it's highly mandatory that you define what either your role is or what you want the AI to assume the role of, so that the output can be correspondingly way more powerful. And then comes action. What action is it that AI is supposed to do? Great, it's the action is basically building presentations, but you may have to further fine tune it. You may have to say something like, one, I need a 15-page presentation. Two, I need you to give me cues of what images to be added, so that put in a bracket some images or some image recommendations, so that in the presentation you don't have to start again from scratch on what images to be added in that presentation, right? You don't have to search the internet on what is the most relevant images. So it itself will give you what the most relevant images is from that particular context, and so on and so forth. Then format is again, presentation and 15 page with so and so. Plus you can also say, give me a couple of slides on tables on good and bad habits, and uh, you know something to that perspective, wherein or at certain slides you're predefining that I need these information, or I need some statistics on maybe something fun, like how much would a Santa give a gift to a good boy versus a bad boy, or something like that. But you have to put it in the format so that that will actually materialize in the content, essentially speaking. And then tone, of course, we'll generally use either a business tone or a professional tone or a business professional or a business casual tone. But in this context, you can keep it a kid friendly tone, essentially speaking, make it a kindergarten level verbiage, so that it would it would kind of look as if the kid is basically doing the presentation. Now, this is a example of a framework, a prompt, wherein okay. So the objective of this particular use case is an HR manager wants to create a comprehensive onboarding program. So essentially, what again common mistake of what people do is they'll just come in and say, "Give me a onboarding program." What do you call? Give me a comprehensive onboarding program for my company, and that's it. And then ChatGPT will spit out some 10 to 15 whatever lines of comprehensive onboarding program. Is that accurate enough? Probably not, because you are not giving it more content. You are not giving it what company are you from, what context are you coming from, which industry do you belong to, and what is the level of proficiency of these employees coming in. Are they senior management people, are they freshers, and so on and so forth. Unless you define all these things, and unless you define that you need these things to be covered, the format should have these particular things, ChatGPT or AI tools would be prone to give out any kind of output that is required, unless specifically mentioned. So in this perspective, you are saying the context is clear and the role is also kind of merged into together. I'm an HR manager preparing a comprehensive onboarding program for new hires in a tech company. So here you're explicitly mentioning that I'm a tech company. It's for new hires, and I want to focus on cultural integration and compliance. So again, depending on your company, the verbiage of onboarding changes. So some company focus on wholeness, some company focus on how you can give back to society, and so on and so forth. And this company is focusing on cultural integration and compliance. Then also it's saying act as an HR onboarding expert with experience in onboarding in technical technology firms, create an onboarding plan with. So there you go. So this is where the format would come into picture. Instead of arbitrarily telling ChatGPT, hey ChatGPT, generate onboarding plan, you're telling it, hey, I want a onboarding plan that covers essential timelines, key focus areas, and resources aimed to smoothly integrate new employees over 30. Now this is where I Atul and Kur, this is where I mentioned wherein you have to upload your company data, wherein so you can give. I'm also going to talk about this, wherein it's called a few shot prompting method, wherein you can attach a document or you can give some kind of a reference to ChatGPT or AI system saying that, so this is what we have done till now, or this is our company's culture, or this is how we want the employees to do the next 30 days. So you're, instead of leaving it up to the wild imagination of AI system, you're giving it some kind of content to work off, so that these content will be taken up, and these will be the bible to extract information from, and the content will be spread across in that basically the onboarding program, essentially. And then structure it with meekly by its own bullet points again. So all these are great formatting that's required, formatting that is being explicitly told to AI systems so that they actually carry that. And the tone is professional, inclusive, and engaging, and so on and so forth. That's like generic things that you tell. So the context is HR manager, well, context is onboarding program of new hires in a tech company focusing on cultural integration. Role is an HR manager, experience in onboarding process and technology firms. I don't need an HR manager experience in handling employees. I don't need an HR manager who is expert in doing a lot of good activities and interacting well with the employees. that HR manager's perspective is not what I want. I want an HR manager who's an onboarding expert. So again, the verbiage changes drastically when it's an onboarding expert HR manager as opposed to a activity expert HR manager or a compliant, complaint and redressal HR manager, so on and so forth. So even within HR field, there are multiple, subsections of your designation that you can provide. Then, action is to create a detailed onboarding plan covering etc 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 for the span of 30 days. And I want I want the format as weekly milestone, bullet points, summary, and the tone to be professional, inclusive, and engaging. So this is how you would be prompting it. So now let's get back to this itself. So here you are saying I want the presentation for a 10-year-old kid. Now let's put it in the craft format itself. CRAFT. I generally tell someone to volunteer, but in the interest of time, I'm just doing this. Action is presentation on 10-year-old 10 behavior. So the context is I'm preparing. I am, my son, or let's say I am 10-year-old and preparing a PPT for presenting to my class. Pardon my spelling. A role is act as a so again, I'm gonna bring in a good spin. I'm gonna bring it act as a Santa Claus and elaborate on good and bad behavior. And good behavior gets gifts essentially. Now action is presenting on presentation on good behavior, 15 slides, kid friendly. And the format is I wanted give image, recommendation per slide at the end of each slide. And the tone is 10-year-old. Oh, yes. Now, I generally do it with a corporate thing, so I'm just spitballing the content. But yeah, there you go. So here it is. It's a kid-friendly behavior and presentation. Santa's secret magic of good behavior, and there you go. So it has brought in that wildly kid-friendly kind of verbiage in it. And good behavior means to be kind and honest. This is the image recommendation for that particular slide. And if, as you can see, every slide will have its own image recommendation. Every slide will have, so on and so forth. And so again, this is just the first thing. And if you have more time, you can further spend a couple of times on, making it a bit more better. But there you have it. Once you have it, there you go. And this great thing about ChatGPT, and again, I can't explain it in this, but on our upcoming sessions, I can explain about that, wherein you just click this and you can slightly tweak, and Canva can build its own presentations for you with just a couple of clicks of button with the content that you have just given. But it's for the next couple of sessions. So there you have it. So that's how you see essentially the objective is the same, presentation on good behavior. But as you can see, there is a drastic difference when you apply the context of different frameworks. Any question, please put it in the chat box. I'm kind of moving fast. Yeah, please.
I have a couple of questions. It's very good now. I know what to do with my presentations. But I had one question, which was like generally when we are preparing a presentation manually, we have in mind the target audience. So in case of my child, it could be the teachers. In case of my quarterly review, it could be the senior management. So while preparing the presentation, where do we actually mention that? In the craft, the content, role, action, or where?
Context. In the context, you should mention the objective is that I have to present it to so and so person. Then it will understand.
Okay. And one more question I had, sorry, which was that one of my colleagues told me that there is this app called Gamma AI in which you can make the presentations very quickly. So is it better to use that, or is it, because in this case, I have to connect to Canva. I may need to have a Canva subscription, which I don't have. So what is the better way to go through that or go through this?
Two, one is the this interface that you're seeing, it's inside Canva, and the presentation that you're seeing, this is Gamma made actually. So I made this this slide and this slide and these slides and all with Gamma itself. So the best way is for you to build it with Gamma and then edit it inside Gamma, inside Canva. So once you build it in Gamma, there's gonna be something like a watermark here. Let me see if I can. Yeah, I mean there will be watermark here saying made by Gamma. So you once make it in Gamma, upload it into Canva, and then go ahead and delete the watermarks from all the slides. Canva will let you do that, and then do further editing, refining, put in your company logo, give it a company's hue, color, or whatever customizations that you want. You can do it. So you have to have a workflow of one, generating content from ChatGPT using one of the frameworks, two, generating the presentation from Gamma, getting the presentation content from ChatGPT and putting it into Gamma, and then once the output comes out of Gamma in a presentation format, taking that and inputting it into Canva, and then basically go ahead and further customizing and personalizing. This would give you a very powerful presentation in less than 15 to 20 minutes, and another, let's say, 15 minutes for you to edit it. In 45 minutes, you will have a very powerful presentation instead of starting from scratch.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. And next we go to tree framework. Now, similar to craft framework, we have many other frameworks. Now, craft is predominantly used for most of the other use cases, but when there is samples or examples that you have to put in, or you want the AI systems to give you some kind of insights. For example, you can say, I want to, give me some stock market recommendations, etc., 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 and also give me examples of how these trades have worked out in the past, or how these industries have performed in the current AI driven world, or something like that. So you're asking ChatGPT to give you examples of how the strategy has worked. That is when you use framework of a tree framework. Similarly, when you are looking for any climate remote, or you are looking to any kind of derivative thing which is done with some kind of data, you're asking them to do some kind of research and give it. That is when you would use tree framework, wherein you are expecting them to give you some kind of insights. So give me top 3 insights also from this perspective. That's when you use tree. But tree is nothing but topic, role, expectation, and output. This is the topic where I want you to do build a report on this. Now you have to think and perceive from the perspective of this, and then here you can kind of bring in the format and so on and so forth, and I want the output in so and so format. Sorry, here you want to bring the format wherein I want the output in so and so format, so and so tone, and I want the result to be modulated in such a way that my CEO will be impressed, and so on and so forth. Plus, you are, again, twofold. You can give it examples also, saying look from these examples and give me the response, and you can also say whatever you are giving it, back it with proof, and then you're asking them to give me insights or examples of how you feel these things work. So that's how the tree framework works. And yeah, and not to kind of uh, you know overwhelm you, but as I mentioned, hundreds of other frameworks exist out there. Do not get overwhelmed. Stick to basic craft, or just go to ChatGPT and say, hi ChatGPT, my objective is to plan an itinerary, a 30-day or a 45-day itinerary to Europe. What framework should I ask you questions so that you can give me a good itinerary? So you can ask ChatGPT itself, which framework should I give you the prompt in, and ChatGPT itself will say, okay, in order to give you a comprehensive itinerary, you can use, I don't know, pact framework, in which give me the response in so and so format, or give me the inputs in so and so format. Then you can give it the input in so and so format, so that the output will be correspondingly very powerful. And again, it's like kind of giving you the secret sauce or something like that, but it would help you in the long run. You don't have to learn about all these things. Keep craft as your main thing in your mind. But if it's something a bit more complicated, go to ChatGPT and ask, hi ChatGPT, which framework should I give you the prompt in, so that you can give me the best possible answer for this. It itself will suggest a framework. And then there are more advanced prompting frameworks. I'm going to quickly cover it. It's, temperature, system prompting, prompt chaining, and other prompting techniques. Temperature is nothing but degree of randomness. I will definitely have to show you this so that you understand what a temperature is. Now, temperature is nothing but, so it's a simple question. I'm asking 4 plus 4 is what? And I'm saying use temperature as 0.1 and 0.9. Now you can see that, there you go. So temperature is nothing but the degree of randomness of an output. Uh, lesser temperature means the output is going to be very precise, deterministic, logical, fact driven. Things like coding and summarization can be done when a lower temperature is there, and when the temperature is high, it's going to be very creative. Like when you're writing a blog or a post, that's when you give the prompt as, I need the temperature as high. So for example, here it has given, the answer is 8, and now I'd answer more creatively. Well, if you have got 4 and add 4 more, then glorious symmetrical 8, two circles stacked in a perfect symmetry. Now, this is in no way the answer for 4 plus 1. I mean, in a way it's mentioned 8, but 4 plus 4 is 8 is the actual answer. You don't have to come up with all these, random whatever stuff. But that is how the temperature works. Wherein if you give it a higher temperature, it's gonna be as creative as it can, and the answer is gonna be very crazy. So again, temperature is one of the prompting techniques with which you can trick the systems to think in a very, superficial format, essentially speaking. As mentioned, low temperature is safe, concise, factual response. High temperature is creative, varied, and exploratory output. Low temperature is for coding and summaries. High temperature is for storytelling. Now, system prompt is nothing but whatever we have done till now from any kind of framework perspective. You're predefining the role, craft framework, tree framework, and that TIFF framework, or whatever it is. When you're predefining, I need the role as this, I need the output in so and so format, I need the tone in such a way in which you're predefining what you want the systems to do. That is system prompting. And the opposite is prompt chaining, wherein initially you're just saying like that one line, saying, I need a presentation from a 10-year-old perspective on good behaviors. The output comes in. Then say, once the output comes in, you're gonna give another prompt saying, think that you're a Santa Claus and give me an answer, or give me an answer as if the Santa Claus is doing a presentation. Then an output comes out. Then say the audience is shifted to a teacher. Now I don't want it to be from a perspective that I am teaching. I mean, I'm giving a presentation to a student. It should be to a teacher or something. Then the output changes. Then say I want the tone to be hyper kindergarten, or I want the tone to be hyper professional or a graduate level. I mean, so these are the things that you can keep on changing as and when the output comes. You keep on giving more and more tweaks to the output so that the output will be correspondingly tweaked, essentially speaking. Yeah, that marks the end of some of the prompting techniques, and this is going to be the last slide probably on the prompting, wherein there are few shot and zero shot prompting. Zero shot prompting is, what we have done right now with the Santa Claus example. We have tell it to give me an output, and that's it. Few shot is what we described now, wherein I want a QBR, and here is the data. So from the data, it's extracting information. Well, not exactly, but again, kind of. So here is the template that you can use it, wherein you are giving it some kind of guidelines onto, how the output should look like. Zero prompting is you are giving it up to AI, and you can think whatever you want and give me an output. Few shot is you are giving examples of, or guiding AI onto what I want the output potentially to look like. That's the difference between zero shot and few shot. Comparative prompting is, I want you to compare different options. So you can say, again, controversial topic, but Modi good or bad. So you're giving the prompt in such a way that I want both the sides. I just don't want if Modi is good or Modi is bad. I want the output in such a way that both pros and cons are defined. Or you can say, is US, being fair to India or not? So here you are actually pitting the ChatGPT to give you both the sides of the coin in the same prompt itself. So that is comparative prompting. And next comes guided exploration, in which It is a very long, very complicated prompt you're giving it, with which you can get any kind of output that you want. And sorry, so this is how a guided output looks like, wherein to put it simply, if you want to learn any kind of thing, if you want to master any kind of topic, if you want to, let's say, do a comprehensive deep dive into learning how to learn French, or how to cook a perfect pasta, or how to be a travel agent, or how to start your own business, this is the prompt that you can do, in which this is called a guided exploration prompt, in which you're asking, you're giving all these sets of instructions to the AI systems, telling it to go through it one by one, and then at the end of it, so it's actually going to take you or build you an essential lesson on how to actually get the thing done. There is in ChatGPT there is a study and learn kind of deep learn or something like that, a learning thing that has been recently added. It's kind of like that, wherein you're giving or copy pasting this prompt into these AI systems, wherein one, act as an expert tutor to help me master any topic through interview style courses. Ask me for a topic that I want to learn, break the topic into structured syllabus, etc., etc. For each topic, explain the concepts clearly. Give me some kind of questions. Give me short exercises at the end. After each major section, give me a mini review. Then once the entire topic is covered, give me a final review and encourage me to reflect on how I might learn, and suggest me how to improve, and so on and so forth. And I might apply this to real world scenario. Now let's begin. Ask me what I want to learn. So again, this is the last line is very important, wherein this begins the guided exploration, in which it is telling ChatGPT to start off with this, and once it start off with this, it gets looped back to here, and then it asks you what you want to learn, and then you go ahead and say, I want to learn how to cook a perfect pasta, and then it will create a syllabus, break it down into structure, and then it's going to follow this process. So this process is called guided exploration. Now I have a couple more slides to cover, and I'm at top of the hour. I'm leaving it up to you guys. Do you have maybe 5 to 10 minutes to continue, or do we stop it here? I want to be very conscious of your time. Let me know, and I can do that correspondingly. I'm going to give you quick demo on 2 tools. That's basically it. Let me know if you want to do that, or do you want me to stop the
I
session?
think people, because we have started late and people are also want us to continue. So if you can continue,
Okay.
Vipin.
Cool, cool. Yeah. Hopefully you want to continue, not because you started late, but because my sessions are very, very interesting. Yeah,
Yes,
you can
of
give it a
course, your
feedback.
sessions are interesting,
Just
and people are commenting that they can sit up to 5:30 also just to listen to you.
understand, understood. Yeah, cool. Thanks for that vote of confidence. So cool. Now, ChatGPT is something that I've already talked about, and even though it's not essentially in the realm, but I want to further, kind of bring to it couple more concepts, wherein I want you to. This is so prompting is essentially wherein you're predefining the expectation of any kind of systems, in which the output can be as favorable to you. So in that perspective, I'm going to give you kind of a bonus, wherein uh, if you have done this, great. If you have not done this, do it very, very immediately. So if you go to your chat GPT, there will be a your profile. Go into your profile, there will be personalization. Go into your personalization, there's going to be a thing called personalization, in which there's going to be a bunch of things. This is what you should do, so that the output of the chat GPT will be more fine-tuned towards what you're looking for. To start off with, you have to enable customization, of course, and then you have to give custom instructions to ChatGPT by telling ChatGPT, hi ChatGPT, I want you to behave as if whatever. So here, if you put it as Gen Z, it's going to give you all the Gen Z slack. If you put it in, I don't know, forward thinking, pragmatic, corporate, outside the box, it's gonna give you a response in that perspective. You can also give it like, I want you to respond like Jarvis in Iron Man. It's actually gonna give you a response like Jarvis in Iron Man. But I want it like this, so I've given it instructions like be talkative, conversational, humorous, and intelligent correspondingly. So whenever ChatGPT responds to me, it will assume this personality of a person being talkative, conversation, humorous, and intelligent, and give you a very, very precise output the way you want it to. That is one. Secondly, there is
Sorry,
a
can you just
yeah.
show this again? How you got here?
Yeah, you just go to your profile section in ChatGPT, bottom left or top right or something. Go to profile, and there is a personalization option here.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So one is you have to enable customization. Two is you have to kind of put what tone you want. So I don't want to put it in any of these categories because then it will be restricted to this category. So I put it as default, and then I give my own custom instructions. Or if you want by default, you can put any of these instructions as well. So whenever they give you any kind of output, it's gonna be like this. That is, I don't know, 3 or 4 or something. And then you give your occupation, wherein you give your personal information that I'm doing this. I have like a couple of jobs. I'm a Gen AI trainer. I'm a CEO at a company. I'm a partner manager at another company. I'm working as a mentor to a couple of companies, and so on and so forth. So whatever you do, put it in here so that ChatGPT can kind of switch between, okay, you're asking me about something, it might be related to this or it might be related to that. So it can kind of bring it into focus. Like whenever you're thinking, you will be thinking from your own perspective, right? That your own perspective is what you are assimilating inside ChatGPT. When you are giving occupation as, you give your job description plus a couple of things about you, couple of things like whatever you want inside here. And again, things like this. So I say I want whatever you're telling me, or whatever essentially output that you're going to give me, I want it in a most cost efficient, clever, easy, strategic way to do everything. That is one thing that I want you to do. Second is add TLDR after every major conversation. So if you know, I mean, many times you tell ChatGPT something and then it will give you a A4 size sheet response, right? And you might not be in the mood to read everything. So I by default tell it, whenever I give ChatGPT anything, it will always give me a TLDR, that is too long, didn't read. That is a summary of whatever it has responded. So if I like the summary, then I'll probably go ahead and read it. If I don't like the summary, that means either I have prompted it wrong, or it's not something that I want, and then I'll completely scrap the prompt and I'll restart the prompt. So my personal thing is, I'll always add a TLDR to this so that the output will be correspondingly given like this. And then in order to save time, what I've done is I've told it, whenever there is something like an international thing with respect to international time or international currency, I want Indian time and currency in the bracket so that I can maintain that correlation, and many other things that you can mention that you can do. So these are some of the personalizations that you must do, with which you can put the AI systems in your frame of mind, so that the output can be way more personalized towards you. Plus, there is also another concept called memory. I unfortunately can't show you this memory because most of the things that I've searched in ChatGPT is kind of extracted in here. But open your memory inside your ChatGPT. It will give you a list of things that you have searched throughout your past 2 to 3 years, and keep the memories that you want it to remember. Delete the memories that are irrelevant to you. For example, for some time I was into kind of coding, even though I'm a non-coding, non-technical person. So it has saved certain aspect of it which is not even relevant anymore, but it kind of thought of me like a coder. Now I go into this, for some time it kind of gave me some technical answers. Then I remember it might have been saved in the memory. So I went into memory, I clicked on manage, and I saw that it's a coder and it requires Java access or something like that. So it has saved that memory so that whenever I'm asking it any kind of response, that context is what it's getting the information from. So I went ahead and deleted that. Now it no longer thinks that I'm a technical person. So this is also very important for you to understand. Go to memory and manage it. And yeah, a lot more things, but I'm gonna stop it at that. So that's about ChatGPT. Any questions on ChatGPT? I know I'm going a little bit fast, apologies, but any questions on ChatGPT?
Just one question. Sorry, I'm asking
Yeah,
a lot
no
of
problem, no
questions.
problem. Yeah, please.
My only question is that what happens, is that it's good to share all this information, like about you, and things like that, and about me also personally. But a colleague of mine told me recently that you stop using PIDB because the transcripts that they take are not really secure. Sometimes the same fear is there about ChatGPT. I saw on your LinkedIn profile that you trained a lot of people and you are well versed with this. So I just wanted to understand from you how safe it is for us to, sometimes I might upload something on ChatGPT saying that I want it in this format or I want like this one. How safe is this?
Understood. One, privacy is a myth. There is no such thing as privacy. If you have it either in your system or anywhere in the internet, a hacker can easily find it. And I'm not telling an intelligent hacker. A normal hacker can easily find whatever it is there inside your laptop or on the internet. So that concept of privacy is a myth. And unless you're a millionaire or something and you have an air gapped PC or something, there is no way hackers can't attack. So that is one thing that you don't have to be worried about, that if a hacker actually wants to come in and extract your information, there's nothing we can do about that. So that is one. I know, not a good answer, but that is one. Second thing is, inside ChatGPT, there is an option of letting ChatGPT train its data with your data. So it goes somewhere here. So there you go. Improve model for everyone. If you switch this on, that means any data that you upload into ChatGPT, it's probably going to use that data to train its LLM. For example, you are uploading your QBR into this and asking it to moderate. Unless you are on a paid version, if you are on a free version, it's highly unlike you are the money. That is, unless you're paying some money, if you're paying 200 300 for subscription, it's happy. If you're not paying anything for subscription, you are the data. So you're uploading any kind of data, it's going to take that data and kind of train it in its LLM. And whenever your competitor do some kind of search on it, those data could go to your competitor, because one, your model might be switched on, or two, you're not a paid user. So I it's not a recommendation. It's again, I should be polite and professional and say I shouldn't say this, but it's a mandate that you should never upload any kind of sensitive data or personal data like your credit card or that password and all inside ChatGPT or any free tools. Any paid tools you can do that. That's not an issue. Any free tools, because free tools, you are the product. You are what they are using to kind of train the data and so on and so forth. Yeah, I wanted to tell a couple more things, but yeah, that's basically about it. Yeah.
Jyoti has her hand up. Jyoti, please ask your question.
Yeah, I just wanted to know that how do we avoid any plagiarism happening? I mean, if we're looking up data, so how do
Understood.
we not fall trap to it?
Understood. So in AI system, or in any kind of AI systems, you're generating your own data with your own verbiage. So for example, this craft framework that I asked you, right? So think of it like your, or let's put it like this. So you and I are colleagues, and both you and I are going to give it the same prompt. That is, both me and you want to generate a blog post on employee satisfaction, let's say, for example. Now what's happening is, I'm going to ChatGPT and saying, the context is I want to generate a blog post on employee satisfaction. The role is, think of yourself like a reputed HR executive, etc., etc. Tone, format, and all. I define it. You also define it. Now you define it in a different way. I also define it in a different way. So our outputs will be different. Now assume both of us copy paste the exact data. So I define the craft framework. You copy that, put it into your ChatGPT, and both of us press enter. If you can, then when you compare the output is going to be different. Basically saying, no two individual in this entire world, let's assume, how much is it, 135 billion people are there in the world. 135 billion people putting in the same prompt will get 135 billion response. So there is no concept of plagiarism here whatsoever, because you're generating your own response. Plagiarism happens when you're extracting information from somewhere and putting it as it is word by word. You're never doing that. But what you have to be afraid of is, how do I put it, AI generated content, wherein that thing can be, predicted by a lot of softwares, wherein they can understand, of course, plagiarism check, it won't be there because it's not plagiarized. Plagiarism checks is like one-on-one apples to apples mapping. It will, like 99.9% will not happen. But from an AI generation content perspective, that is when you will be flag saying, oh, this content seemed to be AI generated. So for that also, there are a lot of way arounds. If you look at Grammarly, there is a option in paid option in Grammarly called Humanize. There is a tool called humanizer.ai, and there is a a tool called Chat Sonic and Write Sonic also. So all these tools, what it does is it helps in taking these AI data and customizing it and making it very human centric, essentially speaking. So plagiarism, it won't happen. AI generated kind of data, if you want to avoid that, you can use these tools. Just give me 1 second, okay? Just give me 1 second. Yeah, sorry about that. A courier came. But yeah, so did that answer your question, Jyoti?
Yes,
Yes,
you're
it did.
audible.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. Any more questions?
We don't seem to
Okay,
be having any questions in the chat, Vipin, so you can continue.
cool. So I'll just take one more, maybe 2 more minutes, and then we can wrap it up. On perplexity is what I'm going to talk about. Before that, let me pull up a thing. Yeah, let me share my screen again.
I think Jyoti has another question.
Yeah, Jyoti.
Uh, Vipin, just wanted to know, I wanted to, I have certain details on mind and I wanted to create a 2D and a 3D version of that, like a plan of a layout. So, is there any particular tool that you would recommend, or would ChatGPT be able to do that for me?
2D, yes. 3D, I don't think so. We have a lot of customizable or customized, or rather, what do you say? Specific tools for 3D generation. I don't think ChatGPT can help in that, but I think Gemini is better suited at that because Gemini is great at multimedia creation. So you may try generating it through Gemini VO 2. Now the 2.0 version of the video generation that it has come, it's very good. You may try to do that, but there are a lot of 3D generation tools existing out there with which you might have to try. I don't think ChatGPT will be able to generate that, but again, you can try.
Got that. Thank you.
Yeah. So I'm gonna take 2 more minutes. I'm gonna explain to you about again perplexity just in 2 minutes. So this is what I do. Again, I'm gonna copy this, open perplexity, and this is perplexity for those of you who knows this, great. For those of you who does not know it, perplexity is, well, founded by an Indian guy. CEO is an Indian, and he is a guy who came out of ChatGPT company, OpenAI company, as a developer or something, and then he started his own company, and now it's valued at like in billions of dollars. So it's like a very, very big thing, and they have launched their own browser and all those things. All these things we can discuss at a later point in time, but what I want to try and explain today is how is perplexity relevant in today's session. So perplexity is the master in generating powerful content. So I want to generate a powerful content, let's say either a deep research or a deep research with project, a very visually appealing project. This is when I use perplexity. Now, to put it in a very simpler term, let's say I have 1 lakh rupees to invest, and I don't know what to invest or where to invest in. So I go to perplexity and I say, hi perplexity, I have 1 lakh rupee to invest. Where do I invest it in? Now, if you do this, of course, it will give you very, very generic, some recommendation on what stocks you would want to basically get out. But what I do is, with the help of prompt engineering, what I have done is I have created a master prompt with which it covers all the major, points that I want detailed research on, post which I will be comfortable enough to take that stock advice and actually deploy my money in it. So basically, here is how that content goes, wherein I'm telling Perplexity again, instead of saying, hi, I have 1 lakh, give me 2 to 3 stocks to invest in. This is a prompt that I would generally give. Imagine, so again, this is the role kind of thing. Imagine you are a 30-year-old seasonal stock market expert with a decade of experience in equity research and portfolio management. Oh, sorry, this is analyze all stocks. Sorry, just give me 1 second. You know, stock identifying and emerging, perform a detailed analysis on current Indian stock market and identify top 4 to 5 stocks that are hidden gems in potential for multi-bagger growth over the next 1 to 3 years. So the same sentence I kind of elaborated it. And I also elaborated more things. I said, I want 1 lakh to invest, elaborate the investment split. So it's not enough you give me 2 to 3 stock recommendations, but I also want the split of how this 2 lakh or 3, oh sorry, how this 3 stocks should be split across 1 lakh. Now I want you to apply a comprehensive methodology that includes fundamental analysis, technical analysis, sentiment analytics, analyst recommendations, etc., etc., etc. Then this is my recommendation of prioritize any cap, but in futuristic segment. My risk appetite is high. My goal is to identify short-term high-return investment and provide a research, ranked stock pick, and I'm gonna press enter. So this would give a very comprehensive 360-degree view on what your objective is, as opposed to you giving one line on whatever stocks I want. So in this, let's see what it does. So this is actually gonna do a lot of comprehensive research on whatever. So let me show this. So this is what it has done. One, it has currently reviewed 20 different websites to find the multi-bagger research, and it's actually parallelly and simultaneously doing all these things: the financial data, analyst recommendations, fundamental analysis, technical analysis, all these things. It is parallelly doing the analysis on. Then it is doing, so I also mentioned futuristic segments, so it is doing this thing on renewable energy and aerospace and so on and so forth. It has looked at another 20 sources. Then it's doing, what is this, emerging sector, which is semiconductors, doing another kind of research, and so on and so forth. And I'll show you how the response is gonna come. So I've used a word called undervalue. It's it's again doing research on, give me a list of undervalued stocks as well, and it's doing this. So while this is coming, I think it's gonna take another 3 to 4 minutes. While this is coming up, any more questions?
One question, sorry,
Yeah, please.
is that
Please.
I would want to know that generally I need to put out a few creatives and do very quickly, like the span of, I get an idea and I want to create it. But sometimes when I work with designers, they take a long time to understand, or I take a long time to explain. So anything that you can recommend where ChatGPT can generate the creative and give to us.
What does this creative means? What's the output that you're expecting?
So, for example, I would want a flyer. Let's say, let's say I'm working in a business and I've had a recent success story. Okay. I've backed a big client, or I've delivered something very quickly. So I want a flyer with 3 to 4 pointers and a picture supporting. That's it.
Understood. So for that, again, bonus session, but go to Canva, and this is Canva free version, I guess. Yeah, this is free. Go to Canva, log in. There's a concept called Canva AI. Click on that, and then go ahead and tell it what you want. So I want an image or a document created. So yesterday we were kind of discussing on what corresponding things do we have to do after this session. I went here and I gave it a couple of prompts and said, I want a 4-hour masterclass content on, what you call content, essentially speaking. So Canva generated this for me. Let me show you my input and what Canva generated. So this is what I gave it as an input, and this is what Canva has spat out as an output. And okay, so for some reason it is not coming in, but let me do this again. Oh yeah, there you go. So this is what, so this is actually the older version, but this is how the output came in. Now, this is a doc that you have created with your words. This powerful creative is created with in 30 seconds of you giving it an input. So the answer to your question is, don't basically try not to use ChatGPT for this. Go to Canva AI, select relevant thing. If you want to design something, if you want to build an image, if you want to build a doc, if you want to build a short app, you can use Canva AI, put in what you want. So I'm assuming you want a document, go to click on doc, and again you can define further types and so on and so forth here. Any kind of type of design is document that you can create, and then give it your idea and click on enter. It's gonna automatically create. So thankfully this is it in its beta kind of stage. It's still free, so you can use it unlimited for free. So the answer is Canva AI. Use it and you will get what you want. Cool. Any other questions?
Yes, Manvi, please go ahead.
Recently, I've heard that all the AIs won't be able to give any advice on finance, health, and legal. So, what does this change? Like, what's your view on this?
Sorry, I didn't understand.
So,
Can you
Manvi,
repeat the question?
I have
Manvi, can you put your question on chat because your voice is not very clear? So just put it on chat, yeah? So while Manvi is putting her questions on chat, um, anybody else has questions? Because I think the next version was question answers, and we've taken a lot of questions along the way. And yes, we will be sending you a workbook with whatever Vipin has covered in the session. So we will be sending you a workbook on that.
Perfect. So, Valdi, just give me 1 minute. So I'm just going to wrap it up. So this is what the output came out. And these are the assets that is generated along the way. So any kind of research or any kind of report that you want to do, these are the assets that it has generated right now exclusively for me with my prompt, essentially speaking. So it has done a bit of coding, it has done a bit of data generation, it has done a bit of kind of Excel sheet generation, and it has given me a comprehensive output on whatever I have asked. So it has gone ahead and gave me 5 multi gems. Himadri, I've invested in 3 out of 5. That's great. Himadri, Windsol, Shakti, and Borosil. And I've also told it to give me a split allocation of what I should do. So it has kind of given me a 30% allocation. So it's not that it has given me 20% for everything. So it has even further understood that Himadri has better potential. So I have to give it 30%. And what is this? Data patterns have very less potential. So I only allocate 10%. So it has done good kind of allocation as well. And it has given me stock recommendations of this is what is this? Yeah, fundamental analysis it has given me, and technical analysis also it has kind of factored in some capacity or the other. And it has also given me valuation risks versus growth metrics and multiple other things that it has done. Ultimately, if I read all these things, I can be rest assured, be certain that my money is going into right thing because I've done a very comprehensive research. And this is what you can do. And again, for you to do this, you can do this just by saying I have 1 lakh, give me 5 stocks. But instead of that, use prompt engineering, create a powerful prompt, and then tell it to do things. It'll do wonders, essentially. So with that, I'm gonna wrap it up, and I think that's it. The Q&A session. Yeah, I'm just gonna skip over it in the interest of time. It's a Q&A, and I'm gonna wrap it up. Over to you, Valerie.
No, thank you so much, Vipin. I think this was amazing. And on behalf of everybody, I think I would really like to thank you for this session. You've got us initiated into prompt engineering. Now we will not behave like Shah Rukh Khan, and we will to at least be able to speak a Chat GPT language. So that's that's what I wanted to say for everybody. There's a couple of more things that we wanted to share, and we will do that in very quick 5 minutes kind of a thing, because we don't have much time now. So for any of our learners who are interested in what we can do further, so yes, as Vipin said, we have created an enterprise AI framework. Very simply, not everybody in your organization needs to know everything about AI, right? But they need to know what is important for them. And that's where role-based learning, and we've been using in this learning and development field role-based learning very, very effectively. So that's where role-based learning comes in. We have created certain segments and certain functions and samples of those, which we will be sending it to you, saying that, okay, if you are in a human resource and your challenges are in terms of talent acquisition, employee onboarding, and engagement, what do you really need? Which kind of tools do you need to use? What bots? Can you create bots? Can you create AI agents? So similarly, we've created something for sales and marketing, content marketing, and finance and data science. We are in process of creating for other roles also. And if you guys are interested, we will happy to collaborate on that. Another workshop of this kind is happening, that is in person, but since Mentor Park is mostly into leadership development, that's where we started, and now we've added AI and Excel and Power BI, because those are the tools that people need in today's world. One of the flagship programs of Mentor Park is Above and Beyond, which is a women leadership program. We are hosting that on 24th. And just like everybody, we always have, we're using a shift framework to do this session. The shift framework actually helps all women leaders to move from point A to point B, look at their limiting beliefs and see how they can reframe it. It's a personalized copyrighted framework that we've created. Not only that, just like every other session, we always have session on AI. So here also we are doing a masterclass with Dr. Vinita Devedi from SPJMR, which is storytelling in the age of AI. So that's a masterclass that we will be doing. And yes, everybody becomes part of the community. So we've initiated the AI community with you guys today, and thanks a lot for being part of that community. And we will keep sharing more and more details around that with you. Uh, Summarizing what we have been able to achieve today, and thanks to Vipin, we've got started. So we've understood use of craft and tree quality prompts. We will experiment with temperature rules and chaining, and I'm so glad that I got to know how can I personalize my chat GPT to spit out some things that I like to do, Valerie kind of prompts, and build prompt library for team efficiency. If you guys are interested, we would really appreciate if you can put on LinkedIn prompt and generate a LinkedIn post and put it on LinkedIn saying that you had a fantastic session. Any other questions before we wrap up? And thanks a lot for just being there today, on a Saturday after evening, and just spending time on your own learning. And if you guys are okay, you can switch on the camera and talk, or yeah, I'm sure Vipin will really appreciate some claps and some hearts, for him.
Thank you so much. Yeah, this is very interesting. It's an eye opener for me. I've never used these tools. I always had this hesitation and that mental block, but I think this has been very helpful. So thank you so much.
Thanks to you for really taking yourself as a priority. And I always say that, we don't put ourselves as a priority. So thanks for you for putting yourself as a priority and joining us here. Thanks, Anuj. Anuj, you wanted to say something? I think I saw a hand
I
there.
just wanted to say a couple of things. I'm sorry, there's a lot of noise, but
No problem.
one is I'd like to thank Zainab for persistently following up. Thank you, Zainab. Initially, when the session got started and there were technical glitches, I was a little like, "Arey yaar, AI ka session or technical glitches, it doesn't make sense." But I'm glad I stayed till the end, and I think it is like they have that term called paisa vasool. in 117 rupees, if I'm just getting to know how I can protect my own privacy. I just, by the way, turned off my data controls and some very valuable tips that Vipin gave. So thank you for that also. So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for an energizing evening. Thanks a lot, Vipin. You've got us started, and let's see what the journey continues. Hi, Angad. How are you there? Cool. Thank
I
you so
wanted to
much.
thank you. I actually,
Yes,
this
Diksha,
was
go ahead.
really informative. We've been using ChatGPT in such an elementary manner, right? But there were a lot of things that I picked up today. And if you, like I said, if you have more follow-up sessions, please do let us know. I would love to join.
Sure.
Even this one picked up because we use ChatGPT for school. So it's like the whole part.
Yeah. So
Perfect.
that's also another thing that I have a nephew who's like 10, 15-year-old old. I actually make them sit down and I taught them. So if you have any homework and if you have to do some kind of, creative cheating, this is what you
Correct.
have to do. So they know how to do it. They know how to
Yeah.
do ChatGPT. But
Correct.
I taught them these are the things that you can do and so on and so forth. But yeah, so it's not restricted to corporate professionals and all.
Correct.
Now, like 6, 7, 8-year-old kids say, even my mom, like 60-year-old people also uses ChatGPT. So it's like age agnostic as well. But yeah,
Correct.
thanks to
It was a really good
be a part.
session. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Cool. Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Just a
Yes.
moment.
Yes. Yes, Anna.
Just last
Yeah,
thing.
there's a
I'm putting
feedback
the link
form.
of
Yeah.
yes. Yes. So we are
If you
actually
guys can
sharing a link
just
of a feedback
yes.
form. Yeah, please, go ahead.
No. Just put the feedback form because I don't want them to be further delayed. You can put the feedback form, and we'll also send it on email. So a feedback really helps us to feed forward. We believe at Mentor Park, we believe in feedback, and we take inputs very very seriously. So we had a similar session last time. We got feedback and we've improvised. So whatever inputs that you will give, we will improvise it. We always take feedback very very seriously, small or big. It's part of the how Mentor Park has been created. So the link is there in the chat. We will also send it to you in part of the email. So request you to please just fill it up.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much,
Okay,
guys.
thank
Thanks for
you.
your time.
You take care. Bye bye. Thanks.